Happy Friday, everyone. Mike here, founder of Magnus Box, coming at you today for our monthly Q&A. I'm joined today by quite a few co-hosts. Pretty much almost the entire team of Magnus Box is chilling with me here on the stream today. We have the one, the only, Seth Byrne. And then we have Luke. How's it going today, Luke?
Good.
And then we just... What's that?
Said happy it's Friday.
Oh, you and me both. I'm looking forward to the weekend. And then we figure we bring her out from the back corners of StreamYard. We have Kelsey, our Goblin Lurker, also known as our marketing manager, community manager. So how's it going today, Kelsey?
Going okay. I've emerged from my cave. Happy to be here with the team finally. You let me out of containment for once.
Yep, we figured we'd bring Kelsey up to the front today. She is usually hiding in the corners, managing everything on the back end because there is so much that happens on StreamYard that it requires a dedicated person to keep an eye on it while we're doing these monthly Q&As. So we are coming at you live today using StreamYard. We are streaming to YouTube, Twitter, and the Magnus Box Partner Group, as well as the IT Bog. So welcome, everyone. If you have any questions that you'd like us to answer live on this stream here, feel free to drop them in the chat. We may actually throw your comment up, like Eric here. And we were running a few minutes behind, and he wanted to know if we decided to go to the bar. The answer is yes. We decided to go to the bar today. So
it is Cinco de Mayo. So, I mean, what else do you expect, Eric?
Exactly. And we're going to try to see how long we can keep the conversation away from either coffee or drinking as far as booze. So, yep. So we have a number of topics today here. Let's jump into it here. So, Seth, how's the dev team doing there here at Magnus Box? What have you guys been working on for a little while?
Sorry, the unmute hotkey is also the bookmark key, so it gives me a little bit of trouble. Yeah, we've been busy for quite a while, doing sort of two rather ambitious projects. One of which was a code rework, restructuring some of our internal functions and systems, cleaning up some technical debt that we've had over the last couple of years, and simultaneously also reworking the trial system and provision system. So previously, if you signed up for a trial, you had 7 days on the trial. That was an isolated server. And if you decided to sign up for a free or a paid account, you had to reconfigure all your devices, re-upload the initial seed data. So it was a sort of a cumbersome transition from the trial to a paid account. And so over the last 6 months or so, we've been really trying to streamline that process. And so we're at a point now where a trial will seamlessly merge into a paid account. So after the 7 days, we send you an email asking, basically saying, hey, your trial is expired. If you want to sign up, click here. You fill out some additional information, and then you're all set to go. So your devices are retained, your backup data is retained, if you decide to go for a paid partnership. So that's been kind of our major undertaking. We pushed all of the changes to production the beginning of last month, my bad. And we've just kind of been doing some cleanup with bugs and such, and it's kind of to a point where it's much more stable at this point. So just kind of some things are on the edges to polish up, but by and large, it is ready to go. So, yes, right. So that's kind of what we've been busy with for the last few months here and the dev team.
Yeah, and there's two main types of MSPs that sign up for us. There's the ones that want to go in full blown on their own, jump in feet head first, whichever way you want to go in, and they just want to do it themselves and hit the ground running. And then there's the type that want to do we do offer what's called a white glove setup, where after a partner signs up, we will assist them on a Google Meet session and give them tips, tricks, best practices, how to make their backup program successful. So there's two types. And what we found out is that the ones that would like to jump in feet first or head first, they would sign up for a trial and not realize that switching to a paid account back then, we required setting up a whole new server for them, because that gets them on their own dedicated server. And then if they had already uploaded 1-2 terabytes of data over that 7-day trial period, they then had to re-upload all of that data a second time. So essentially what this has done is it's made it so that way, once they sign up for a trial account and decide to go to a paid account, that data stays where it is. It's not going anywhere. It's the exact same session that you signed up with. And so it required a lot of, as Seth said, back-end code work, reworking the code, and just taking care of some technical debt and try to streamline our services so we can offer more services in the future as well and improve our quality of service. Would that pretty much sum it up, Seth?
I would say so. Yep, that's all very accurate.
I really just want to test your bookmark to see if it was going to work. So, or your unmute.
Yeah, I've resorted to clicking, I think. So.
And now I'm just going to come and ask him questions every time. So just want to say, hey, Kurt, it's good to see you here. Thanks for stopping out here. I see we have Eric and Scott as well. So yeah, the code rework, it was a long project, but it was definitely something that needed to happen to streamline and improve our quality of service as well.
Yep, it'll allow us to scale a little bit more agilely. That's not a word. we'll be able to scale a bit quicker and pivot not pivot. Sorry, that's the wrong word. But to build out new systems with a bit more speed and a bit better structure, I would say.
Exactly. So, as far as that goes, do we have anything regarding branding?
Sort of. So as part of the revamped trial provision system, we wanted to simplify the sign-up form as much as we could. And so one of the liberties that we took is to remove the portions of the form that ask for branding to be uploaded. And so basically the new sign-up form asks for your email and some other like legal questions, location I think it asks for, but it takes maybe 30 seconds to fill out. So quite a bit quicker than the old form, but as a result, branding is sort of not front and center anymore. With that said, we do still offer branding, and so we'll have the best way to set that up is to reach out to us. Kelsey, our marketing person, is really good at creating some really nice graphics, and so we'll kind of direct the branding requests to her. She'll format them, make them look nice and pretty and suitable for the dashboard. And then we'll kind of take care of the branding that way as well. So branding is still there, but just kind of a different avenue. Is that, would you say that's all kind of correct? Is anything there?
I'd say it's pretty accurate. I mean, how many questions was the original sign up form? I think it was like 28 or 30 questions. It was a pretty lengthy form. And I think you were able to, I think you and Matt were able to cut it down to 5 questions, if that.
Yeah, that's all Matt. He's brevity is not my strong suit, as any partner who I've responded to will know. I usually have at least 2 paragraphs. So yeah, Matt kind of took an axe to the form and really shaved off a bunch of stuff that was there, and kind of found nice ways to reincorporate it. So all the essential information is still being collected. It's not like we're leaving out stuff, but he found a nice way to kind of package it and compartmentalize it in a little bit neater format. So,
and also I want to add to that. So we stopped charging for white label branding. It's still on the pricing sheet. I just spent like a year of not assessing that fee, and Kelsey actually just got done reworking our pricing sheet, and I haven't uploaded it yet. And we no longer have that on the pricing sheet because I've done demos for last year, and everyone sees the white label branding fee. And they're like, oh, you charge a fee. And I'm like, no, I haven't been. It's just I haven't updated the phone because I still haven't decided. So with all the automations in place, something that Kelsey is really good at is modifying the images that our partners or MSP partners send in to add to their backup portal. So with that being said, if you haven't updated your logos for your backup portal, or you need help, or you don't have, well, I don't know if I should say if they don't have a logo, but if you have something, any type of a logo, send it to Kelsey and she will work her magic on it. And she has the specs, I believe, right?
Yep. I have all the measurements we need, and I can sort of, if we need to minimize the logo a little bit, I can minimize to make it more readable as well.
And on top of that, if you want someone who's really good at, are you able to help them with their branding on the backup as well to make it look clean as far as the colors go and everything as well, Kelsey?
Yeah, for sure.
So
anything that I can customize, I can definitely help make it look really nice and cohesive.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes we see a lot of logos that we're getting uploaded. I think that was one of the pain points, is that partners would upload a logo for, let's say, the email report logo, and they would get an email report in their inbox every day for their clients' backups, and it'd be a massive, huge logo in this tiny little report. And it was just because of how it works. So the best thing I recommend is, if you're not happy with your logos, if you want to look into branding, the best thing that I can say is just reach out to Kelsey or email our team. You can easily just send a request over to support@magnusbox.com, and then we'll direct it to Kelsey, and she can get those logos converted, and then we will have our partner support specialist, Luke, go through the magic of uploading those images to your server. So it's a team effort here, team effort. So, but it's definitely something that we encourage you to do. What's that, Luke?
Said a lot of button clicks.
We still handle that process internally as far as the branding, because there's a lot of settings on that admin portal that we can't let the public have access to, and so we really lock it down. So that's where Luke comes into play. He will go through and click all those buttons for you and make the magic happen. So if you want to have your own white label branding, or you want to update it, anything, just reach out to our support team. They're really quick at getting back to people, usually same day responses, sometimes within the, there's times where we respond within 5-10 minutes. So no promises, can't guarantee it. But yeah. So I see Eric still hiding in the chat there. Usually he's throwing comment or questions out to us. So wait, hold on. There's one. Found one. His office is next to the largest bar in town. So we have 2 bars here in Merrill. They're right across the road from each other. So if you get kicked out of one, not saying I've done this, you can go across the road to the other one. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You're all from Merrill on this live stream, so, or you're all lived or been through Merrill. So,
Luke, when do you turn 21? When are we taking a company trip to a bar?
Oh, it's still a little bit. I still got a little over 2 years now.
Okay. So I have to stay in this box for at least 2 years, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
he hasn't popped an event on my calendar for going out drinking when he hits that age. So
This
is great. We lasted 13 minutes before we went into booze talk. Everyone's gonna think we're just drunk here all the time. We're not. That's the thing. I don't even drink very often, but when we go to conventions, our partners want to challenge to see if they can get me to drink or Seth to drink. And I mean, last year they literally were trying to figure out how much they would take to hurt Seth.
I've been practicing though, building up my tolerance. So me, I'll be ready.
So let's move on to our next topic here. And like I said, if anyone has any questions about anything we're discussing or wants to talk about anything in the industry, feel free to just drop it in the chat. But we reached out to Comet recently, and I'm sure that it's been seen on their page. For those of you that don't know, we are powered by Comet. I always joke that we're the Hostify of backup. So they are getting ready to beta test VMware backups. So 2 years ago, we were graced with disk image backups. Last year, we were able to bring on Office 365 backup, which has been pretty successful. And this year, we are going to be beta testing VMware backup. So we don't have any pricing information as of yet regarding that. However, we are always looking for people who are willing to beta test. Now, just to disclose, because we aren't just posting this to our private partner page on Facebook, you do have to be a Magnus Box partner to be in the beta test for VMware backup. So you have to have a paid account. Beta testing usually comes with some perks and benefits. Depending on how much you participate in the beta testing, once we go that route, we usually end up deciding as a team to give out an account credit to help offset your bill for being a beta tester, because as you know, beta testing, it either goes really well or there's a lot of troubleshooting and debugging. So I think the last time we did a massive beta test was Office 365, Seth. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So, and then we'll be getting ready to beta test that here shortly. Let's see here. What else did we have? I'm going to share out my screen here for our next topic here. So as part of that beta test, we do beta test the Comet releases before they go out to quarterly releases to see what they're bringing. Let me share out my screen here. I shared this in a live stream I did on our partner page the other day over the weekend. So let me see here. Oh, there we go. Entire screen. Whoa, that's trippy. So this here is the current backup portal that all of our Magnus Box partners have access to. This is where you go in and manage your entire backup infrastructure. So I'm just going to do a quick glance at it here so you can see what it looks like. So you have your online, offline devices, last 24 hours, and then what type of backup job it was, if it was a backup, restore, or an update. And then you also have the temperature graph here where you can see the status of all of your backup jobs for the last 10 days. And it's fully interactive. So this is the current backup interface for the web portal that you can use to manage your backups. And now this here is the new one that we have been playing with. So this is going to be coming in the next quarterly release. It's a little more user-friendly. It's got some added features as well. It takes away a lot of the white space. It puts a lot more out there. So as you can see here, we can see our online and offline devices. I have one here that's outdated, which is just my Synology, but you can still see everything like you could on the previous dashboard. Just a little more responsive. And then you still have your recent activity tab over here. Now, this is one of my test servers that I use for my personal stuff. So, but yeah, so you'll have to let us know in the comments if you guys like it, if you hate it, if you want to see something change on it. But we do expect to be seeing this during our next quarterly release here. Let me just jump in here. So they did add a few buttons. You can run backups from the protected items tab. And you can also search now. You could search before, but I believe that is part of the new beta beta release that just dropped this morning, Seth, and I haven't told you about this yet. You can now search from the web portal individual files while trying to perform a restore from this portal.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because like right now, if you want to run a restore from the web portal and try to find a specific file and search for it, you have to manually go through those backup jobs those backup jobs to find the file that you're looking for. But with the new release that's going to be coming out that just dropped this morning for testing, you can actually search within the backup and find the name of a specific file from the web portal without having to remote into your client's endpoint. So it's definitely a nice quality of life improvement that we're definitely looking forward to testing and playing with here. Just trying to streamline things and make it simpler.
I haven't poked around in the new dashboard much, but you clicked into a page in the protected items tab there on that user page. And It's a small change, but I really like the fact that you can run a backup there. Because before you had to, find the backup that you wanted to run and go to the devices tab and then initiate the backup. So having that button in the same page is a small thing, but I think really helpful. I'll find it helpful, at least, I think.
Oh, exactly. And that's what I'm looking forward to as well, because before you, like Seth said, you would have to, if you found the backup job here, you'd have to go over to devices, click actions, run backup, restore, and then you would have to go through that process from there. So it's really just streamlining and making things more efficient by just having it here in the protected items tab. I think you played with this, didn't you, Luke? Did you get a chance to look at my backup server with the beta release?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the new backup, the UI here. Makes it a lot cleaner to look at. I like the dashboard, as you were saying. It's just a lot less dead space. It just looks nicer, fills up the page. But yeah, I mean, there's no major changes in terms of like features, but it is nice that, like Seth was saying, that run backup there exists as well. So
Yeah, and there's just, like I said, they just did a lot of quality of life improvements, and so we're definitely looking forward to pushing this out. We don't have an ETA on when the beta is hitting production and then a quarterly release with this UI enhancement, but there are still a few bugs that we've been working with Comet at resolving as well. So definitely a nice collaboration between us and them. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing this quarterly release along with the VMware, the new protected item type. So.
You had a couple questions in chat, Mike. We have one Facebook user who asks if we can move the panes around. Do you happen to know if that's currently available or planned in the future?
So it is not that I know of. I don't think it's planned yet, but I'm going to reach out and ask that and forward that over to them to see if they have any suggestions. It's definitely a good question. I would actually like to see the ability to, so I'm going to share my screen again here just because why not? I would like to see the ability to actually, on top of that, to be able to hide different panes. So for instance here, we're on limited storage. This pane does not really mean anything to any of our partners, along with the server self-backup. That's internal to Magnus Box. This here, the server self-backup is, we run an hourly backup of every one of our MSP's backup servers in the event that we have a server failure, or we have some kind of a issue with the data center. So we can easily take that data and restore it back to a different server. So it's one of those things that you don't really need those panes on here. So it would be nice to see that as an added feature. It's definitely something that I'm going to pass along to them as well. I mean, is there anything else you see on top of that, Seth?
No, I think that you answered the question well. So that was from Scott, that first question.
Oh, hi, Scott.
And Eric had another question about the UI. He asked if any of us had experience using it on a cell phone yet, if it was responsive on a cell phone.
That is a great question. I'm actually testing that right now because I know one of the questions that we get a lot of are cell phones, are being able to bring it up on the cell phone. So I'm actually popping it up on my cell phone now.
Yeah, based on the modular design, it looks like it would scale pretty easily, but the thing that worries me maybe is like the side panel. I don't know if they have that collapsed in the menu on the mobile side, it might be good, but otherwise it might be a little bit clunky. I'm mainly stalling for you to pull it up.
So I mean, so it is, I mean, to a point, it's definitely a lot more user friendly than it was before. So I have not had a chance to play with it. This is the first time I actually pulled it up on my cell phone. So if only I could have brought it onto the stream and showed it. So
yeah, it still looks a little sloppy, but it's better than nothing if you need to do it on the go.
I mean, my thought is that this is the direction going towards making it more responsive and making it be able to adapt to different screen sizes as well. That's where I feel that they're taking it with that UI change as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, did anyone have any other questions regarding or comments regarding the new dashboard? At first, when I first saw it, I was like, huh, that's an interesting change. But as I've looked at it more and I've used it more, it's actually made more sense to how they have it set up. So definitely interested to seeing how that works.
Yeah, that looks like all the questions we have currently for the dashboard.
So let's go off on a tangent now, because why not? So there's something that I want to discuss, and I know that the buzzword in the industry is currently AI, artificial intelligence, and we've all heard of ChatGPT. My thoughts are, I know how I'm using it, and I use it on almost a daily basis, but I'm curious to see how our team here at Magnus Box uses ChatGPT. So does anyone else here actively using it as much as I am, or am I the only one?
I kind of use it. I don't use it a lot. It is nice when I'm writing something, especially, and I can't really think of anything, because it's nice for that type of inspiration. I'm more interested to see like how it works in terms of beyond like the chat interface. So I know Snapchat even has something in their thing where you can talk to it as well. So it's certainly the next big thing, but it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here.
I use it a little bit, mostly when I'm making scripts for videos for Mike. because sometimes I need a little help with the technical language, seeing as I'm the art department. Sometimes it's kind of nice to have a tool that can double check and make sure that my information is correct, and then I can get Mike to check it and make sure it's extra correct.
I do dabble with it. I've used it for like school studying. So if I'm looking through a study guide or something like that for a class, and I don't know a particular point on the study guide, I'll ask ChatGPT, and usually I like to fact check it just because I'm studying for a course, and sometimes ChatGPT can hallucinate stuff. But it helps kind of narrow down what I'm searching for. So if I ask who was the first epidemiologist, and it gives me a name, I can look up that person, and I can kind of confirm that. At Magnus Box, I find it particularly helpful for database queries. We use MySQL internally, and I know I can look up MySQL queries and find what I'm looking for, but I can also just ask ChatGPT to populate everything that I need to in the query. So it's super helpful for that as well.
Definitely. And as Eric dropped in the comments there, I have a paid subscription to ChatGPT as well. I use it. I'm fighting Kelsey with the button now. Mine. I should stay on the back end of our StreamYard sessions.
I wasn't doing nothing.
Oh, I thought it was you.
No.
That's not mute. He's saying something important.
My bad. I said that was me. I was pressing the button. That's my bad.
Oh, I try to be responsive with what's happening back here, but so I use it for quite a bit. I'm gonna have my access revoked. I like it. I probably need it revoked. But I use ChatGPT almost daily, and I use it just because it's a tool, and I feel that a lot of businesses, small businesses, as well as MSPs, can actually use it to help them. So I've used it to assist me with reviewing some of the scripts that I've been using and writing. So especially with Ansible, I know enough in Ansible where I use it for managing the back end of our servers, for updating, patching, pushing out software updates and whatnot. 250 plus servers, you have to find a way to streamline that process. And so I've been using it to help me build upon my knowledge and skill set of Ansible to help me write those scripts and write them more efficiently. But I've also used it with, like Kelsey said, with writing scripts. And so a lot of the scripts that we have coming out and a lot of the videos that we have coming out, we do ask ChatGPT we give it an idea, and then we run different scenarios for the script through it, and then we pick one, and then we really don't use the raw script that it spits out. We really refine it, I feel. I know Kelsey will go back through and give it an extra human touch.
Sometimes it needs it.
Sometimes, like one time it spit out a script, and it's like 3 different camera angles, and I'm like, I don't have this ability. But I've also been using it a lot for learning different things. If I have a question about something, or I've been doing some Ceph, a deep dive into learning Ceph as well. Not the Ceph next to me, but the Ceph storage software that's open source, and it's been helping me with that. So I definitely think that it's an industry changer. I think that it will definitely help people, but it's one of those things where it's also a tool that should be used in your arsenal to help improve your business. I know for me, I'm actually looking at, I actually recently with one of our vendors, I had it run different scenarios through it to output data for me to make actionable business decisions based upon the data that I put into it. So it's one of those things where you get what you get out of it, what you put into it. And it's definitely been huge for helping with different business scenarios as well. But
one cool application I saw of it was Sal from Khan Academy. I was working on integrating it into Khan Academy, like as a virtual tutor along the side, and it was really cool the showcase he did, because the tutor has like infinite patience because it's just a machine, and it has his demo had like context, so if like they're working on a particular algebra equation or something like that, he would kind of like suggest what a good first step would be. So I think it does have a lot of far-reaching implications and applications that'll continue to unfold in the coming years.
And I don't feel like it's going to be a job replacement technology. I mean, it's like I said, it's a tool to be used. Just like Kelsey said, she can write scripts and come up with business ideas. but at the same time, she doesn't have the technical side of it. And so it helps it helps bridge that gap for writing and bringing in that technical element as well. So I'm just curious to see how all the other MSPs are using it as well. So I know Scott said he has 2 subscriptions, so we know he's doing twice the work. Or not Scott, but Eric. Sorry, wrong person there. So, but yeah. So I mean, it's definitely a huge thing. It's going to be interesting to see how it can affect the backup industry as well. Like I said, it can do a lot of things, and I can't wait to see what the future brings for that. I know there's different applications and tools out there. Some of the internal tools that we use that have now launched AI are Notion, and there's a few other ones. There was Notion. I'm waiting for Help Scout because that's coming.
Yeah, Scribe recently launched one.
Scribe, yep.
Slack was talking about it just yesterday. Actually, they introduced it. So, I mean, pretty much any tech company is doing it in some way, shape, or form.
But there's also the bad side of it as well. And so I know Riley Chase had put out a post recently, I think it was on Twitter and Facebook, that he needed to contact support for a company, and he just got caught in this AI loop in nonstop, and he just couldn't get a human. And that actually made him, I think it made him pretty upset that he was not able to get to a human because they relied on that AI so much. So there's definitely, I think that businesses, as far as a support role, it can assist, but I think that people still want that human element to assist them with their problems as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking that the other day because I was on the phone with Amazon, and it wasn't like AI per se. It's just a typical like automated robot thing. And I had so much trouble trying to get to a human because I knew the robot wouldn't be able to fix it. I knew I would have to talk to a human. And like, as I predicted, 5 minutes into talking with an actual human, they fixed my issue. So yeah, I definitely understand being frustrated when more and more companies rely on that almost solely, to the point where if you want a human, like, oh, sorry, no one's here.
I do have to say, though, I did use AI for a reverse role. So instead of a support role, I actually used it against support recently. So I didn't tell anyone this. So my wife loves her Sirius XM radio in the car, but it's like $200+ a year for it. And I've heard that you can haggle them down by threatening to cancel. And so I was just messing around after I clocked out, and I was just like, you know what? I gave the parameters and the information and what I wanted out of it, and said, I said, I'm going to input the responses of the support person. I want you to give me a response so I can paste it in there. And I actually went through, and every time the support person went in, I'd paste it into Chat GPT, and then it would spit back a response. My bill is now down to, I think, $6 a month for Sirius XM, and it was originally like $23 a month. So, I mean, I did a reverse roll on it, it was pretty efficient.
Hey, Mike, I don't want to brag, but I'm able to get my Sirius XM bill down to $5 a month without any AI intervention.
Oh, man. They knew.
I heard that trick from my grandma like years ago. She loves her Sirius XM too. So she's like, all right, you just call them, and as soon as you're like, oh, I want to cancel, like, okay, we'll give it to you for like $5.
Well, I think that was with the tax though as well. So maybe it is down to 5 and that's just the tax, but it's just crazy how I think that's just like their standard,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a crummy business model, but I'm sure they get a bunch of people that just aren't willing to go through the hassle. So they just pay the extra, $15 basically. So
I'll say, yeah, there's some people who probably like, set it and forget it and just have it renew.
Maybe that's why when we do demos with prospective MSPs, that they're always asking for a lower price, because I think they're just so trained and beaten down with all these other vendors that that they're just trained to, hey, don't take the price that's on the website at face value, that I can haggle it down. Maybe that's why we see so many people when they sign up. Our prices on our website are the prices. There is no special pricing. It's just, we do have deals out there. I think we have a few deals out there yet, don't we, Kelsey? Don't we have a referral program right now that we have going on?
Yep, we still have the referral program that for every person that you refer to Magnus Box, you both get, I think it's $100 in account credit, you and your friend who comes in. So a little bit of a double referral deal there.
Yep, and it's not a cash credit, so I mean, I can't cut out checks to everyone, but it's an account credit, so it does help offset your monthly bill. And we have a few partners that actually hit that pretty heavily. I don't want to throw their name out there, but they know who they are. They're always in the chat groups or in the Facebook groups, and they're always chatting us up. And I want to thank everyone that does that. We actually had an incident where we had a complaint the other day. I know, shocking. We had a complaint that got posted in a Facebook group, and I got 2 tags, 2 Facebook messages, and a text message. And within 5 minutes, I had responded to the person, gave them my phone number, and we had resolved the issue. And it was a miscommunication between us. And I just wanted to show them that we do care. And I did chat with them, Eric, by the way, as far as SiriusXM, because I wasn't going to call them. So I just chatted them. But don't use, now with that all being said, don't use ChatGPT against us during support or sales. Double standards here. But yeah, so I mean, that's all I really had for that. Did anyone else want to discuss the AI? Anything else that you're doing cool with it? I mean, I'm thinking my next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be using it to make some to check on our income and expense and just feed some data into it. I'm very careful with what I feed into it, though, because I don't want to give it anything that it shouldn't have. I've heard horror stories about breaches and information getting put out there, and we don't want to. I'm very careful with the information that I put into it as well.
Yeah, I heard some like Samsung person, like they got fired because they were telling ChatGPT like some sensitive information, apparently. So that's certainly a concern.
Don't put passwords in ChatGPT.
That's the good advice.
Whenever I put a script into it, I always make sure to do something crazy, like put password here or blank for password or just something, so I know when I'm having it review something, it doesn't have that data. We don't need breaches. And I think one company, it might be the same one you were talking about, Luke, they actually implemented a policy straight up saying you're not allowed to use AI on the job at all. It's a security breach risk. So, but yeah, so I think we've covered AI quite a bit, how we use it to benefit us here at Magnus Box. I'm sure that Matt has a bunch of ways that he's using it too, hopefully.
He's a big advocate for it.
What's that?
He's a big advocate for it, at least. That's the impression that I got from him.
I definitely think that it's going to be a huge tool, though. If anything can be said, it's just that I would like to see some way that it's integrated into like an accounting software like QuickBooks, and it can actually help assist business owners, especially small mom and pop shops that close your ears, Kelsey, that can't afford a marketing person or doesn't have that ability or struggles with posting to social media. It's definitely a tool that could help improve everyone's lives for $20 a month or free. But they should definitely hire a marketing person. So, but the only thing that I had left for today, and it's been great comments coming in, and I appreciate all the feedback. The only thing I have today is what kind of projects are we working on right now?
I'm just working on, with Matt, trying to polish up the trial system, mainly getting some of the final touches put on the system and some of the management side, like the front end of our internal control page, that still has some work to be done. So that's kind of what I'm working on the next week or two.
Anything big for you, Kelsey? I know you got some projects you're working on.
Yep. Right now we are working on trying to roll out Swagbox 2.0. I'm at the very end of the current list of swag boxes that I have to send out. And when that's done, we're going to start looking into making another one, maybe a little bit smaller, maybe with some different products in it. And I think that that's going to be really fun. We're going to have a really sleek, nice looking, compact Swagbox 2.0 for our partners.
Gotcha. And we definitely know that people love swag. So, I mean, I have ideas of what I want to see on the swag box, and I'm sure Kelsey's got some. She's keeping it under wraps with this project, but let us know. We've given out quite a bit of swag over the last few years. I mean, we've had everything from water bottles, notebooks, business cards. There's a whole list. I think I gave out. I found one. I found one of our original swag items, the Magnus Box Stress Cloud.
We all need one of those.
you can still throw it at people and scream "Taste the rainbow."
I keep all my Magnus Box passwords written on that,
On the rainbow or on your notebook?
on the cloud. There's a lot of white space, so you're right.
Oh gosh,
I would think to look there.
this was TechCon. I think this is the first TechCon item. This is the first trade show I ever did, and it was the very first TechCon with Paco and Jeff and John, and it was a lot of fun. It was when I was new coming into this, going, "What the heck am I doing? I don't belong to be here, or I'm not supposed to be here on this side of the booth." Definitely a good time. So we're working on TechCon. Swagbox 2.0, not TechCon 2.0. We're not going to compete with them. Paco's already sending me an angry email now, trying to say so I'm gonna jump in for Luke, because I know what Luke and I are working on. So we are working on finishing up our data center here in Saginaw, Michigan. So what happened is we ran out of room. We have 2 racks in our current area that we lease from the local ISP, which is the network hub for the area. All the fiber coming in, they have a pretty extensive infrastructure there. And so we ran out of room. And so what do? We decided to lease a bigger room within that building. And so we've been doing some improvements to it. We got the alarm system all installed, and we're just making some improvements to the room itself to make it presentable. And so we can use it as a marketing item, so we can actually show you what we're doing within our data center and how we have things set up. So as it is right now, we can't really take pictures and video or record anything in our current area because there's other people's equipment there, and it's a security issue. And so we're very conscious about that. And we don't want to cause any issues. So that's what we've been working on. We're hoping to have some flooring work done here, and I think we're just about ready to start moving gear. And it's going to be a very delicate, long day when we move one of those storage clusters, because there's 2 of them in there right now, Akira and Nexus. And we're going to be walking very carefully with those servers and boxing them up nicely and putting them in the new rack in the new area, which is only about 50 to 100 feet away. With that.
Yeah, very close.
So it's definitely going to be a very delicate process. We're only doing one at a time. We're going to go nice and simple and do one at a time. So is there any other projects? I think that's pretty much all that we've been focusing on lately.
Yeah,
I can't think of anything.
Gotcha. So, but yeah, so I think that's all we have for today. I appreciate all of the feedback, everyone that joined us today here. I appreciate the good vibes for the migration. I'll probably be calling you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
See, we don't see his name because with Facebook, you have to give it permission, and not everyone wants to do that. Scott has been helping me with learning the magic inner workings of WatchGuard firewalls. So we've been using pfSense for a really long time, and we're starting to get to a point where we need to find a more enterprise level firewall. So I've been playing around with WatchGuard in my home rack here, and I deployed one the other day for a friend of mine, I should say. So it's definitely been a fun project. So I've been working on that as well, and I appreciate all your help, Scott, on that. It's been truly helpful with that. I believe he's also a distributor of WatchGuard, so I'll give him a little shameless plug there. But yeah, so I think that's it. Who wants to do our outro? Man, I guess I was last. So if they want to get a hold of you, Seth, what's the best way to contact you?
The best way is to contact me via email at mike@magnusbox.com. Or Seth@magnusbox.com. Either one, I end up seeing both messages usually. So.
And Kelsey, if they need to get a hold of you, I bet people can't guess their email, but how do people get a hold of you with marketing questions or anything regarding our community?
Just email me at kelsey@magnusbox.com. You can ask me anything about marketing, setting up your branding, all that kind of stuff. I'm happy to help answer some questions.
Perfect. And then Luke, I know it's good. I know we're going to throw people off, but hold on a second here. Do we see a question here?
We have a question from Scott about the VMware beta.
Nope, we did not roll out the beta yet. We had to go through a process with we had to get enrolled in it, which we already were going to get guaranteed the position. So we're just waiting for the software and the instructions for them. So if you send in a ticket to us, I have it saved and marked, and I will make sure to reach out to you for that information as well. And then we forgot the other important question.
Take it
Yeah, I don't think they mean the corner of the screen either.
No, they mean
We're a square. It's all corners.
Or maybe both.
So Luke, if they want to get a hold of you, what do they got to do?
It's gonna be a plot twist here, but it's my first name and at magnusbox.com. Luke at magnusbox.com. Email me anything, anytime, except Eric.
Except Eric.
Just kidding, Eric.
He's not kidding. You should have heard what he was saying. Anyway, so if you have any support questions, you can email our general inbox at support@magnusbox.com. And if you'd like to reach out for sales or anything like that, you can also get a hold of us by emailing hello@magnusbox.com. And we are one of the few vendors that actually have a phone number where we will answer it when we're not in a meeting. I missed one earlier. You can actually call us, and I got smart this time, guys. I actually programmed it into a banner, so I didn't have to look it up on my phone and stall. So you can call us. Our toll-free international, I believe, as well. Phone number is 888-933-2975. Next time I'm going to say that cooler, like 888-933-2975. So I hope you have an amazing weekend, everyone. And Eric, while he's crying here because Luke doesn't want to talk to him. And have a safe week. If you drink, we avoided it for most of the conversation. Drive safely, and I hope you all have a great weekend.
See you guys.
See ya.